Welcome to the Let's Talk Basic podcast, where girls talk about everything basic.
Join us as we sit down with a glass of wine and see where the conversation goes.
Kick back,
relax,
and get ready for the ultimate girls' night in.
I'm your host, Joanne.
And I'm Vanessa.
Hey
Welcome
guys.
back. Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh.
So, we talked about spring cleaning. How has your spring cleaning been?
You didn't come over yet. So, the progress has been non-existent. But I'm trying. I thought about it.
Did you even, declutter?
The neon dress is still sitting there.
Oh my gosh, so brutal.
I don't know. You're just going to have to come over one day and put it on my bed.
And just put the one dress on your bed.
Yeah. It's an emotional roller coaster. But I mean, speaking of decluttering, it is spring cleaning. So we talked about, decluttering our homes and everything, which I have yet to do. But what about decluttering other parts of your lives?
Which part in particular are you talking about, Vanessa?
Well, a lot of things, like friendships.
Right into that.
Like people you want to get rid of, people who don't belong in your life. Unfollowing people on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's also decluttering. Things like that.
This is so on point, I guess. This is so on point with my whole New Year's resolution of simplifying my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that going, Joanne?
It's been great. I've been organizing everything.
Okay, great. So let's start with Instagram.
Yeah.
All right. So you and I are both on it a lot. Our personal account and our Let's Talk Basic account. And we see a lot of things. And I'm not going to lie, I put a couple people on mute.
I haven't done that yet. I just straight delete them.
Okay. I think I'm not there yet. It goes back to that neon dress, right?
Yeah.
I've thought about it, and I think that it's better for me not to see any of their content.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want to be so ruthless as to just delete them.
Right.
I don't know. There's something about how harsh and cold that is that I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't like them or anything. It has nothing to do with that, but I just think that, I don't know if you guys experience this, you're looking at people's posts, maybe mine, and you're like, oh my gosh, she's so annoying.
Yeah.
Right? There are some people that
for sure.
definitely, give off that vibe, and I just don't want to bother looking at their things, but, I don't want them to think that I don't like them.
Yeah.
So I just don't look at their posts.
Yeah.
I usually it's just story. I think posts are usually pretty fine because you can kind of get rid of them pretty quickly. But if they're constantly kind of up there in those icons, right?
Yeah, and the stories and stuff.
Yeah, then it's kind of there they are again, and sometimes you just click on it accidentally. And, so definitely not a lot of people. Definitely a couple people are on that mute list.
Yeah.
But really just so that I can declutter my brain.
Yeah.
So that I don't have those thoughts about those annoyance, that annoyance in my head is just mainly to get rid of that.
Yeah, for sure. I think I feel like it's good to go through your list every once in a while and just be like, do I really want to hear from this person again?
Yeah.
And if not, then it's probably okay to delete them.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be people that you know personally. Sometimes, I follow an influencer or a celebrity, and then, you and I are both huge fans of The Bachelor and Bachelorette season. And, after seeing an episode and you're like, oh my God, I really like this person, you automatically follow them. Or you want to know more about this person, you're curious. So you automatically follow them. And then after that phase kind of just like dies off, like they're no longer the bachelor or they're like really happily in love and it's really annoying.
Yeah.
And then you start to be like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So you just unfollow them. So it's like more like maintenance, I call it.
Yeah.
Right? Maintenance of like your own sanity and making sure that your well-being is fine. And those are the things that I get rid of.
Or people who just post really boring things and it takes up your Instagram feed and you're like, well, I don't want, this is my break. Yeah. And I don't want to be looking at your stupid shed.
Yeah. Shed?
Yeah, I don't know.
Posted a photo of a shed.
I don't know. Or like old DVDs they found in their closet or something and they post a story. It's like, I don't care.
Oh, no, I like those.
Well, I can send them over to you and you can follow them. Exactly. But yeah, like it's such a good time to kind of reflect on where you want to be. And I do kind of believe like what you put in is kind of what you make yourself to be. Mm-hmm. So like what kind of things you look at, who you surround yourself with, like that's who you end up becoming. Mm-hmm. What is that rule? Like the 5 people that
Yeah, so the 5 people that you spend the most time with are the people that kind of reflects you. Right. Right? Yeah. So it's, like when I think about my friends, like, good thing I only have 5 of them.
Do you like them all?
I think I do. Yeah, we are definitely similar in terms of like our goals and our outlook in life, our attitude. So I think it's important to keep those people close. But I also think that those 5 people that we speak of who are really close consistently changes throughout your life.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So the 5 people that you were with maybe in high school into your adulthood and until now, right? They're going to be ever changing.
Yeah. Right? Okay, wait. Can we go back to the Instagram thing?
Yes.
What is the rule or like the factors that help you decide whether you mute them or you delete them completely?
I think one rule that I've always had, and it doesn't really have to be. Remember when BBM was popular?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm aging myself.
Yeah,
but when BBM was popular, you would know if you had that person on BBM.
Right.
Right. You can't message someone unless they're on your list.
Yeah.
Or you're on their list and they're on your list.
Yeah.
Something like that. So for me, the rule is if you see that person in real life.
Yeah.
And you don't make an effort to say hi to them.
Yes. Yeah.
For me, that's a rule of cutting. You're allowed to delete them. Because in my opinion, a social media is kind of an extension to your life, and it's a part of your personal life, especially with stories. I think it's a little bit more personal, right? Mm-hmm. It's like an inner how do you say, like you're kind of like a fly on the wall when you're looking at someone's stories, and it's a lot of like day-to-day mundane things. So like those are the type of content that I think are interesting, right? You're like, oh, what does Joanne do on her free time? What does she cook for dinner? Like those are pretty key things.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like allowing people into your lives. Whereas I feel like Instagram posts are, pretty open.
Yeah.
Right? And you only post like the highlights.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas stories is more, in my opinion, more realistic portrayal of your day-to-day life.
Yeah.
So I think that if you don't say hi or you don't greet each other in a public space, then I say delete them.
Yeah.
Right? Because really they're not part of your life.
Yeah.
Right? But if you still make an effort, to say hello to this person when you bump into them on the streetcar or at a party, then I think it's, you're just acquaintances, and I think it's fine to leave them on your Instagram or whatnot.
Right. That's fair.
Right?
I think that's...
Is that the same rule for you, or?
Yeah. Well, like, I haven't really muted anybody.
Yeah.
Like, if anybody seriously annoys me, it's usually just a delete for me. I feel like because I'm not as savvy on the internet as I used to be. So I'm like, I don't know if they get notified or like if they're going to find out I deleted them. But I feel like I can just say, I don't know what happened.
Oh my God. Now they know. Great. You're not savvy at all at this. Oh my gosh. We're going to have to cut this part out. I'm joking.
Or like sometimes I just go through my list and be like unfollow, unfollow, unfollow. So like it could happen where I accidentally unfollowed somebody who I actually wanted to keep following. Mm-hmm. Because I've just been on this like purge, right? Of like, okay, there's like a lot of people I don't know, or I don't know how I met them, or don't know like why they've ever been on my list.
Yeah. There's definitely a couple people that I just added because when I was really drunk.
Yeah. And there's so many people who I added like when Instagram first came out.
Yeah.
And they haven't been active ever since.
Okay, so I've noticed this is going to sound really weird. There's this one person who constantly look at my stories.
Yeah.
But they don't follow me.
Oh.
But every time I have a new story, they would look at it. And I
Who is this person? Do you know them?
Like, honestly, like an
Do you guys have
acquaintance
mutual
from
friends?
high school.
Yeah.
It's a long, I don't know.
Like girl or a guy?
A girl.
Oh.
Yeah, so what
Does she follow you?
No.
Oh.
So what, I think that what made me like kind of, point her out is the fact that I wonder how does she get notifications? Because she doesn't even follow me.
Yeah.
But she looks at all of my stories.
Oh,
I find that odd.
Yeah,
and I can't request, I could request her, but.
Yeah. Huh.
Isn't that funny?
I don't know. I'm so like.
I feel like she's really tech
now.
savvy.
Yeah. Or maybe she's just really on her game. And like, I'm going to check on Vanessa today.
Every day.
Yeah. That's really creepy, actually.
I know. She doesn't strike me as a creepy person.
Right.
Yeah. So it doesn't scare me or creep me out. And I'm just curious as to how someone can not follow you, but also see your Instagram stories.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Huh. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have anybody like that. I also don't really monitor who watches my stories, so I don't know.
Once in a while I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so back on ending friendships.
Wow.
I guess like it's a topic that we've kind of talked about. I think everybody kind of deals with it at some point in their lives.
Yeah.
And I actually it's been really funny because I'm on this Facebook group where it's a bunch of girls like just talking about issues in their lives. And there's a lot of posts about friends going crazy on each other.
Really?
Or like acting really out of the ordinary, and like they're just posting like, I guess, the fights and text messages that they have and being like, is this normal? Like, am I out of line? So I feel like it's a really common thing in female relationships. And I always talk to my husband about this. Like, I'll tell him like about fights that I'm having, and he's like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get girl relationships. Like, why do you guys talk about these things?
So can I ask, let's back up. What is this Facebook group? Is it like a therapy support group?
No.
It sounds like, what kind of group are you in? I'm not in it.
It's actually like the Off the Vine podcast.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we should have our own Facebook group so we can talk to each other.
And these people actually post like screenshots of their conversations to allow people to see it, to make sure that they're sane.
Yeah, and like people
That's
chime
insane,
in.
Right?
Well, I don't think so.
Just getting a third, like a...
Yeah, like to get a third opinion and to be like, am I out of line?
Right.
Which I feel like I do all the time.
You do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
I do that to you too.
Yeah.
I bounce things off just to make sure that I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Or like I'm not being either oversensitive or I'm being, just making sure.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I have a bad day. Maybe I look at things a little bit differently. And
yeah. And like we have hormones, so like those kind of go crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. Let's be honest.
Yeah. I don't, So, like, have you ended a friendship?
I think there has been friendships that have ended. But I was kind of thinking about this topic, and I feel like I'm a very, like, I feel like I operate in phases. So I'm very supportive of the idea that every friendship has different seasons or different phases. And in some phases, you will be closer, and in others, you're not, and that's okay.
Yep.
So I feel like even though in some instances I feel like a friendship has ended, and I'm like doing air quotes, but like I don't know, I'm open to the fact that like we could be friends again down the line or in the future. Like I don't think there's been any friendships where I've been like, oh, that's so toxic, it's irreparable.
I have.
Okay, let's talk about that.
I can think of like two friendships.
Yeah.
That have definitely like ended, and it was toxic.
Yeah.
And it wasn't something like, oh, maybe we'll be friends again somewhere down the road. I don't think that it'll happen.
Yeah.
I think it's just people, I think, you become friends for one reason, and you stay friends for one, and then when you kind of get to that crossroad where you're like not seeing eye to eye on some pretty fundamental like values, I think that's when it kind of breaks down, right? Just like any relationship, it could be, relationship with your husband or your boyfriend. Same goes for a friendship for me, I think. If all of a sudden you came to me and it's like, I don't know, like I really like stealing.
Right.
Right. I'd be like, why?
Yeah.
Like you just wouldn't understand that.
Yeah.
Right. And you talk to me, you justify why you're stealing.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, I think it's a right thing to do because you know what? I'm just out of money and I can't find another way.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, steal money from other people. Like and I think that friendship got to the point where she's so like wholeheartedly believed what she,
so you had a friend who loves stealing?
No, that was an example.
Okay. Like, just wanted to clarify.
Yeah. So like this friend was so wholeheartedly believing something that I was totally against. And it was this topic kind of like stealing that it was big enough to like, you're not going to see eye to eye.
Right.
And it was one of those fundamental things where you're like, I don't think I can get past it.
Yeah.
Right. And I think one day she just kind of wrote me a really, really long WhatsApp message saying that like it had nothing to do with that thing anymore.
Right.
And it just kind of spiraled out onto all of the things that I did wrong.
Right.
In the friendship, how I wasn't there for her, and I'm just a bad friend, and these are all of the reasons why, and you don't support me. Like she just kept going.
Yeah. Right.
And at that point, I'm also that kind of person that just kind of shuts down. Like once you literally listed everything that's bad about me, and I'm like, at that point, I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise.
Right.
Right. Because I don't see a point in it. I'm like, okay. And that just kind of ended there, and we parted ways, and she moved, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you, like, what do you mean you said okay? Like, how did it end?
I accepted the things that she said. I'm like, I see your point, and
so you just made like no effort to try to fix it.
Yeah, and I think that pissed her off even more.
Right.
Right? Like when someone and like any other relationship, two people have to be wanting to work on it.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm also like, come on, you just said a whole bunch of crap about me.
Yeah.
I didn't agree on one fundamental thing about you, and that's all I said.
Yeah.
Right? But I think people get so defensive sometimes, and they don't really, like, it's easy to get sidetracked, right? When you're frustrated.
Yeah.
Right? And when you don't see eye to eye and you don't understand why someone can't just see it your way or just be more empathetic in your situation, they start kind of bringing in things that was not even an issue at first, right? I think it's easy to do that. And I think once you start kind of throwing those kind of jabs, it's kind of over.
I don't think I've ever had anything so serious like that.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, that one.
Yeah.
And we were friends for, like, a long time, like, since high school. So that was not a great situation. And I don't think I've ever talked to this person again. And honestly speaking, it got so bad that we don't really have any more mutual friends. Because this person just kind of dipped. So I think for her, like, in her perspective, it was a very one-sided thing where not that anyone took sides or anything like that. It just seemed like it was like a stealing thing. Yeah. Right? For me, stealing is, you steal, that's bad. You don't steal, that's good. It was it was a very black and white situation that she saw a lot of gray areas in. Mm-hmm. Right? And I think, I don't think anyone took sides. They just didn't want to get involved. Yeah. Right? And I think for her, she felt like people took sides and made her into a bad person and whatnot. So.
Yeah. I think that's like a big thing with like friendships too, where there's like all these sides and all these side conversations that add so much to the whole dynamic of friends too. Yeah. Which makes everything so awkward. I think for me, a lot of the friendships that kind of have phased out are friendships that I just kind of feel like we didn't click anymore. Like, it wasn't really fun to hang out with them anymore. Like, we were on different phases in our lives, or we just were interested in different things, and we had kind of the time where we were really close and had things to talk about. But, you know, as our lives changed and years passed, it's kind of like, I don't really enjoy this relationship. Doesn't spark joy anymore. Exactly. And it's not easy ending a friendship. And I feel like, especially in those cases where it's nothing against them and nothing against me, it's nobody's fault, but it just kind of has to, it's not going anywhere. The easiest way is just kind of fade out. Like, nobody messages each other. Or you have conversations that just, you get ghosted, or you ghost a little bit, or you give less and less response over time.
Like your response becomes a lot less enthusiastic.
Yeah, like a little bit drier.
Very to the point.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I honestly feel like if later down the line we saw each other, I would have no hard feelings towards them. But I don't, and I'd be open to having trying to be friends again, because who knows, like, maybe our interests have realigned or something like that, but maybe not.
I think it's hard I almost feel like being friends with an ex-friend is harder to become friends with an ex-boyfriend.
Whoa. Yeah. Really?
I think so. Because
there's a lot of grudges with female friendships.
Yeah, and I'm specifically talking about female friendships. Because, we're girls, and most of, I would say the majority of my friends that are close are girlfriends. Yeah. And I think for, like you said, like, girls, like, they hold so much, like, grudge. Yeah. Right? And they hang on to every little thing that you said, and they remember everything that you forgot to do for them. Yeah. Right? So I think girls in general are a lot more...
Or like every Instagram post you didn't like.
They're just like a lot more sensitive, and there's just so much more like on the line with women friendships. Yeah. Whereas guys don't, like, especially at this age, and I'm in a very happy, stable relationship. I hope that my ex is as well. When you're in those relationships and you realize why you guys didn't work out, like, I think those kind of feelings and those kind of grudges kind of subside because, hey, like we were never meant to be, and we can accept that and put that aside and,
well, I feel like with
have a friendship.
relationships, I think like with relationships, I feel like there's a hard ending.
Yes.
Too, right? Whereas with friendships, you don't get those. You don't.
Yeah, you don't get that closure.
It's not like we are going to stop being friends now.
Yeah.
So give me back my stuff. You know, like
yeah,
it's not there. You don't get that kind of level of closure, like you said. But and it's a lot more ambiguous because you can fade out and go back into it. Where even though you were kind of saying you don't think that happens, but I've definitely experienced that in my life. Like
people who like leave and then come back?
Yeah, like, okay, I don't know, like in high school, like you have really close friends and then you go away to university and things happen, you drift apart, you have new friends, but then you come back into the city, you get closer again. Like I feel like that happens all the time where I get these like phases with my friends. And I feel like, you know, sometimes I'm just not like when my friends started getting pregnant, I feel like it becomes a very different phase and like our relationship changes, but I'm sure that like I'm still there for them as much as I can, even though they have all their like mommy friends now that they're much closer with, that when I get to that stage where I can relate to them, like they'll be there for me just as much, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like because there's these phases in our lives that happen, I'm more okay with being distant from a friend and having a friendship end with the possibility of reviving it.
Yeah. But here's the thing though, like I think what you're talking about is like being close with a friend or not. Right? Like I think...
Yeah, but I think, okay.
Right? Because like I think there's a difference between...
But it
not
could
being
be
as
ending.
close.
I think it could be complete ending where you really don't talk for a long time. And if nobody ever initiates you never see each other again, it could be a complete ending.
Yeah.
Right? But I feel like if there's any effort or like any interest on either side, it could come up again.
I've had some of that before where we won't talk for months and I don't even know what happened. It was just, you know, I don't know if you have, you know, friends in your life that like to disappear for a couple of months and then come back. Yeah. I've had one of those before and...
One of those.
I've definitely had one of those before and I just thought
those people.
It's just odd.
Really?
Yeah, because for me, it's like I have no idea, like at all, why this person decided to not talk to me for 3 months. And then, you know,
But you didn't talk to them either.
Yeah, and then
so
I would have to... I think I would have to... Oh, it's like, oh, shoot, it's almost this person's birthday. I probably should message them.
Right.
Then I would message this person and be like, hey, happy birthday. Like, I don't know. Like, should we go for a drink or something? And then that's how it revives.
Yeah.
Right? And then we're great for a couple months. And then it goes down again. And then, like, I stopped talking to this one person again.
Yeah.
And it's been months.
But I think it's harder as you get older. Like, I think that's a really natural phase of just being like, it's hard to find time for people.
No, but like, yes, I agree with you that there's...
Do you want to spend time with this person?
I think I've tried multiple times, like in the past, like, you know what, like this person's just going through something, like I'll just continue to try.
Right.
Right? I'll just continue to try, continue to message.
Well, maybe she's ghosting you.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think she definitely ghosted us.
Yeah.
And I don't actually know for what particular reason. And we've noticed, like, in our group of friends, definitely noticed some trends.
Yeah.
She likes to be around when we're single, right? So when one of us is single, she really likes to show up because I think she likes that company.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm guessing
yes.
she's single.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Like, as of right now, I think she is.
Yeah.
Since the last time I talked to them, she definitely was. But, like, I think she likes going out and she likes having fun and everything. But when we're all in a relationship, maybe she thinks we're boring. right? And maybe we're not going out as often as much as we did before, so then like we get phased out, and then she, you know, hangs out with other people who maybe have more free time and are more willing to, you know, go out to clubs and to drinks on weekdays and everything and stuff like that. So that's the trend that we've noticed. So maybe it's just her phasing us out because we're just not on the same page, right? We're all in relationships. We're all stable relationships. And really, we don't go out that often.
Yeah.
Right. So I think she might be looking for people who are not as cuffed down as we are. And then, you know, hoping to find her mate, you know, out somewhere. Because, hey, girl, like if you're at home, no one's going to come busting out the door and be like, hey, you want to be my girlfriend? So I think she just needs to get out there a little bit more. So maybe that's why. That's something that I've justified in my head, but doesn't make it any easier, I think.
Yeah. I think there's definitely like so many different scenarios where somebody might kind of fade out. And it's kind of like if you're making the effort and they're just not reciprocating, I'm all for just being like, hey, you know, if you don't want to talk to me, I'm not angry about it. If you ever want to reach out, like, I'll be here and I'll respond and I'm going to test it out and see if I enjoy talking to you still.
Yeah.
But I think at our age, like I'm very okay with the idea of people phasing me out and me phasing other people out. Because it's just like, again, like it's this whole simplifying. Like I just can't deal with this shit anymore. Yeah.
You have a very old soul, Joy.
I know. I feel very old ever since 30 happened.
Oh my God. I need to get on that. Like, because I feel like a part of me still wants to be like very inclusive and wanting to, you know, still be friends with everyone. And I know that's not possible. Yeah. Right? And I know that there's, you know, we're constantly going through change. We have different interests. Our schedule's completely different, especially when, you know, we have a boyfriend or a husband to consider. That's like adding another social calendar into your life. And that does get really hectic and we don't have a lot of time. And I think friendships who are extremely kind of demanding in terms of like, oh, we need to see each other every week. I'm like, that's crazy. I don't even see my parents that often. So I think friendships who are very demanding, very clingy, and the constant need to be around, to feel like close to you or whatnot, like,
or honestly like friendships with rules.
What is that?
You know, like I think when you were in high school, it's like, okay, you can say like, oh, we have to hang out at least once a week. You have to like be supportive. You have to come to all my birthdays, and you know, there's all these like hidden expectations with friendships, right? Yeah, but I feel like now as we grow older and we're more we're adults. Like,
no, I think
those don't matter anymore. Like the world is not black and white, and like. When people try to impose that on me or like, you're a bad friend because you didn't XYZ. Yeah. I'm kind of like, no, I'm not playing in the same game as you. Yeah. And that's when, like, kind of what I was saying, like, it's not fun to just be in a relationship with you. It's not fun to just hang out with you because I feel like there's all these expectations and like, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
I think another thing that often gets people pretty riled up about rules is the fact that people make turning 30 or like milestones birthday. Yeah. So like turning 25, turning 30, maybe turning 40. Yeah. Right? Something so big. And they have all these expectations of either what their friends are going to do for them and, you know, and even like, some people I know for 30th birthday takes trips
Yeah.
Right? Like they do like a big girls trip and I'm like, I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Or I don't have time or money
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
So I think,
or if they, like, here's the thing. It's okay if you do the trip, but if you have the expectation that they have to be there, it's kind of like,
I think that's the stuff that rubs me the wrong way in terms of like friend expectations.
Yeah.
Right? I think people, especially our age, should give people options and consider the fact that, hey, this person might not have, the money or the time to come.
Yeah.
So let me just scale it down a little bit. And I think people would feel a lot better and people would be more inclined to, join or want to come if you were just made it an option.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think definitely there was some tension when we had our friend group, like turning 30 and whatnot, and people making rules about, you have to come to my birthday when I'm having 3 different festivities. And you're like, dude, come on. Like, I can't go to all of them, right? People have other obligations. And I think people in general, just, friends in general should be, considerate of that and know that just because they didn't show up to your dinner party and your brunch doesn't mean that they value the friendship any less. It's just, come on, like, I think people need to be reasonable with some of their expectations and managing those, especially these milestone birthdays that really is just another day.
Yeah. Unless their birthday is around Christmas.
Here we go, Joanne. What did I do?
I know. Well, okay, no, I totally get it, and I totally agree with you. But I do feel like for my 30th birthday, I did have a little bit more expectation because every year my birthday gets like shafted. It gets combined with like the Christmas party or whatever. Yeah. So I did expect a little bit more, just effort to try to make it out for my 30th birthday. And like, I do understand that it's a busy time. So it's kind of like, as long as you give me some time, it doesn't have to be on the party or whatever, but like, do try to celebrate it with me.
Yeah. I don't think, every friend, the friends that I've had, like, they all enjoy celebrating. It's not about like the person not wanting to celebrate with you or whatnot. Yeah. I think it's just, like I said, it's just managing that expectation. Yeah. And like, you can't tell people that you have to go to this, and that. And I've had, crazy enough, I've been in those situations where I've been told. Yeah. And then when I cannot make it. That doesn't make
it fun anymore.
Yeah. No, but that's the thing, right? I kind of rebelled. Yeah. And like, I think once I was told that I had to go to all 3 of these events, and then I was made to feel guilty about not being a good friend because I can't attend all of those things. Yeah. It really pissed me off. Mm-hmm. Right? And I'm not gonna lie, like, not that I didn't talk to that person for a while, I kind of did the whole very cold shoulder, short responses, didn't really message because I was kind of pissed. Yeah. And like, if you're gonna treat me like that because I can't give you every single date that you demanded, that's because I find it ridiculous. Right.
So was that a deal breaker for you?
It almost was.
Because of
how demanding the friendship was. Right? Yeah. Because I can't, you know me, I can't stand people who are demanding, who are clingy, who, like, once I feel like someone, like, needs me, it, like, literally repels me. Like, I can't do that. Like, what?
I need you.
Don't fucking say that to me.
I know, I can't. I was cringing as I said it.
Yeah, but, like, you know what I'm saying, right? Yeah. Like, I don't like to feel, like, needed. Yeah. Like, not that I don't. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
What are you saying?
I don't like it in a relationship, in terms of, like, a romantic relationship, and I definitely don't like it in a friendship. I like people who are more independent. Yeah. Who has their own shit. And
what's an example of somebody who's too needy as a friend?
I don't know, because I've obviously phased them all out. I don't have any friends that are like, oh, when man, can we chill again? Like, dude, I just saw you last week. Like,
Yeah.
I think for me, a healthy amount of hanging out with girlfriends is like maybe max every other week.
Yeah.
Like max.
Yeah. That's fair.
Right? And I can't, like, I love catching up and having dinner, but I think I like to do more activities.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, whether it's going to, you know, I don't know, go riding a bike or doing crafts together or taking, you know, calligraphy class or whatever. Like, I think it has to be an activity. I can't just sit around, like, and have dinner with this person every single week because we're going to run out of things to say. I don't have a very exciting life.
Yeah.
And nothing happened. So if I see you every single week.
I feel like we see each other every single week.
Yeah, but
it's different.
It's for work.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different.
No, that's fair.
Right.
So what are some other deal breakers? I think you kind of said demanding.
Yeah,
I think for me, like a big one is if you have a big ego.
Oh.
I can't. Like, where you have you can't be down to earth. That's a huge deal breaker. And I feel like that has happened, I guess, just in friendships where as you grow up, you change and you can't take yourself too seriously, or like friends that have taken themselves too seriously. I'm kind of like, this isn't fun anymore. Like, I'm like a huge, I don't know. I feel like my friendship style is that I make fun of people. So if you get sensitive about that, then it's really going to be hard for us to be friends.
Yeah. And I think, I wouldn't say that this is a deal breaker, but I would say that something that could not deteriorate a friendship, but bring two people apart is the stuff and the interest that they like to do. Like the interests that they have, right? So for example, I think all of my close friends know that I don't even know when the last time I was at a club.
Yeah,
right?
that's a huge one. Yeah.
I mean, that used to be really fun for me in my early 20s. I probably went every single week, right? And if you asked me, Joanne, if you really wanted to go clubbing on your 30th birthday, I would, suck it up and put on a pair of heels and go with you.
Yeah. But
like, I would probably be out of there by 1:00.
Yeah.
And that's like really good.
Yeah.
Like, I think there are still some friends of mine that enjoy, that scene and everything. And I think
I don't think that's a deal breaker.
It's not a deal breaker.
Because as long as we're able to have
some kind of things in common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that has definitely phased out a lot of friendships where I don't hang out with them anymore. Like, I still consider them friends.
Yeah.
But we don't see each other anymore because that's all they do. And I'm like, that does not interest me at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah. It's just like different stages of life.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a deal breaker, but it definitely changes the dynamic of your friendship.
Yeah.
What are other deal breakers?
I think a big one for me was also, I guess at some point, feeling like they're not putting anything into the friendship. So I had friends who would like only message when they needed you, or like never be around, or like disappear every time they're in a relationship. So those kind of friendships are you kind of have to look at it and be like, is it actually like we are good friends, or do you just need me when you need me? And I think those ones you kind of have to evaluate for yourself to see if it's worthwhile to continue. But yeah, I think we are kind of running out of time.
Yeah.
But it seems like we actually had a lot to say about this topic. So
this is like the first time we've successfully talked through these friendship breakups.
We're simplifying.
Yeah. I think that was good for us to kind of like talk about it and walk through it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as awkward as I thought it was going to be. So
yeah. And if you guys have any questions or your own stories, we'd love to hear it and kind of, I don't know, let's be our own girl Facebook group thing.
we can vet your
send us your text messages
and we'll let you know if you're out of line.
Love it.
We also promise that we won't reveal any of this to anyone. So feel safe.
Yeah, we'll end it there, I guess. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Let's Talk Basic podcast. For more exclusive content, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Let's Talk Basic.